From the headlines that move us
to the plays on the field and the people making a difference.
It's news, sports, and stories that keep our community alive.
This is the Heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
I'm Christopher Ingram.
And I'm Sarina Fazan. Thank you so much for joining us, and Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year to you, too. It's great to see you.
Great to see. Well, you know, I've said on the record, you're one of my most favorite people on the
you're
planet.
one of mine, too. We have such a good time together. This show, I love doing it with you.
We do, and this is so sweet. Oh, my gosh. And you never have to bribe me or anything. You know, like, I'm so grateful for anything. But look what Christopher got me. Oh my gosh, I love this shirt. Thank you.
You know, like that? You got to take the sticker off or you're going to look like Minnie Pearl.
But it has our beautiful logo, Heartbeat of Tampa Bay. It's pink. Did you do that on purpose?
Well, I figured, you like pink, so pink or green, right?
Right, exactly.
Or
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. On a much lighter note, speaking of colors, though, so I purposely wore this brown ensemble today.
You look great. Your hair looks great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Brown is the fashion color. Did you know?
Is it really?
It is supposed to be the fashion color
That's
of
interesting.
the year.
I mean, you look great. Brown is not my favorite color, but okay.
Well, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I honestly was surprised
Yeah, that's
too.
cool.
So so that's why I thought how appropriate to start the year in brown.
Okay, before we start getting into some heavy topics and stuff like that, tell me, what did you do for the holiday? I know you and Sammy, you had a trip to Chicago, and you also went to New York, right, with your daughter?
It was, Christopher, I've got to tell you, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yeah, so Sammy and I went to Chicago for my niece's baby shower, but then we did a mother-daughter trip to New York, and we got back before New Year's because she wanted to be, she's 18 years old. She wants to be
party with her friends.
But I've got to tell you, I mean, it was so crazy at Times Square. That's where we stayed. And I was thinking to myself, and listen, folks, if you guys like to do this, no judgment, no criticism, nothing. I'm just saying, wow, were there a lot of people there?
Right?
Yes. And how cold it would be. Would you ever want to do that? Would you want to be in Times Square when the ball drops?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not on a bet.
I know. See, and that's why I say, no offense or anything. It was so fun and energetic, but yeah, I was very happy to come back.
Right?
Here.
Yeah, I don't like big crowds like that.
Yeah.
I would never go there. I would never go to Mardi Gras. I don't even like going to Gasparilla.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like crowds. I don't like being I don't know. I feel trapped. I don't like big crowds like that.
There were a lot. I mean, you definitely had to pack your patience,
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, how about you? What did you do?
Just stayed here in Tampa and just did a lot of R&R. And my daughter Mia came over and just chilled with friends, and it was good. It was good. Nice, relaxing time. But I'm glad to be back to work. And
me too.
Like just sitting around the house after a couple weeks gets old.
I know. Like, and do you feel energized being back, or did it take you a while to get back into the swing of things?
I'm ready to be back where I'm glad we're here today. We had a busy day with a client yesterday here in the studio, and got a lot going on. We're going to move the LED wall tonight.
That's so
we're going to push it
exciting.
back a little bit, so it'll basically still have the same look, but it's just going to give us more room, longer shots and that kind of thing, so it'll be cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's great to be back.
Well, cool. So there's a lot going on in the world.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Did you see this story? I'm sure you did, about ICE, and they shot this woman in Minneapolis who was at some rally protesting against ICE, I think, and she ends up kind of backing out her car, and then kind of looks like she was going to try to run over a cop or evade the police. She was definitely trying to evade them. And one of the officers, the one that she seemingly tried to run over, shot and killed her. Have you seen that video?
Yes, I've seen the video, and I've watched the press conferences, and it's so. And I shared this with you. I feel like you are so much more knowledgeable when it comes to especially political stories, and I have not kept up as much, right? But the thing that really bothers me is how divided everybody is.
Yeah.
So we heard the press conference from, the DHS secretary.
Right, Kristi Noem.
And yes, and, saying some negative comments about the mayor and the governor, vice versa, though, for them. And it just makes me so sad. I know a lot of people want to live in a perfect world, but that there's so much disagreement within the community.
Yeah, there is. And my reflection on that is basically, people like to blame that on Trump. And I don't blame Trump for the divisiveness in our society today. I think it goes back probably since definitely the internet and cable news that has gotten us all just compartmentalized, where we're in one camp or in the other, and we don't respect each other's opinions. And it's not about Trump. I mean, if you go back, I'm a history major in college, and I know American history very well. And Andrew Jackson former president of the United States, if he didn't like what you had to say, he would challenge you to a duel and shoot your ass dead.
Gosh.
I mean, so,
yeah.
you know, Trump's not pulling guns on people. And you can't blame all this on Trump. But you're definitely right. I think we definitely have a much more divisive nature. That's not news to anyone. But,
yeah,
you know, it's
yeah.
sad when you, talking about this Minnesota story and your reflection is that, you know, here we have a situation, however unfortunate, and instead of being a team and trying to figure out why did this happen, how did it go wrong, how do we prevent it from happening in the future, we're instead, you know, kind of just throwing gasoline on an already burning fire.
Yeah, and you know, Minnesota and Minneapolis, specifically that area, I mean, it has been clearly, you know, a hotbed. We had the George Floyd situation close to there. Also, how could we forget the 2008 RNC in St. Paul,
right.
you know, with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
But you brought up a really good point just now, Christopher, about blaming the presidency perhaps, or you and I, when we got into journalism, right? We're journalists. Yeah. Our mission is to share the facts and to let the public decide on what they believe. For me, what is so heartbreaking, and one of the reasons that I left traditional news, is because anchors have opinions.
Right.
I mean,
they're not supposed to, but they do. Yeah.
You and I can have opinions because we're television hosts.
Right. We're not news broadcasters.
But as you know, like CNN has their opinions, Fox has their opinions. I don't think. I'd love your perspective on this. I don't think it's trickled down as much to local news, but national. Don't you feel like really?
Yeah, it's bad. It really is bad. You know, talking about news and the news business. You know, I was at Bay News 9 for 10 years, and the news director at Bay News 9, he used to talk about this, and you know how things have changed, and why you see so much opinion on television as opposed to hard news is because talk is cheap. It's cheap. It's a lot cheaper to have someone sit in a chair and mouth off their opinion than it is to go out and actually do real journalism, produce news segments. Do investigative reporting is extremely expensive.
Right, extremely.
And that's why we just don't see so much of that anymore, and we see all of this opinion because talk is cheap.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's heartbreaking.
So let's talk about this case. So this woman is at this rally, protest rally. We don't know if she was there actually protesting or she just got caught in the middle of it. I mean, those are some of the facts that we need to, you know, be cognizant of. But here's what I see from that video that's disturbing to me and explains why we're in this situation, or she is in the situation she's in now, which is she's dead. It looked like she was trying to evade the cops, right?
Yes.
One of them came to her door, tried to open the door. She continues to put it in reverse. Then she moves in forward and turns her wheel to the right, and that's where she kind of was looking like she was going to clip or hit the officer that ended up shooting her and killed her. Now, it's unfortunate that she's dead. It really is, right?
Of course.
But here's the thing that I find the media, the mainstream media really misses in terms of the narrative that they project. Look, they love this acrimony. You and I both know. News media loves acrimony and fights, right? And different sides and, you know, pitting us against each other because that gets people interested in watching the news or reading the proverbial newspaper. And in this situation, one of the things that I think is so missing, and it's just like a lot of the other ones that we've seen. You mentioned George Floyd, same situation. Both George Floyd and this young woman that was killed by the ICE agent the other day, both would be alive today if they weren't stupid, if they didn't act stupidly, okay? You run from the cops, you're gonna have an encounter. Things are not going to go well for you. That doesn't say that if you run from the cops, you should automatically assume you're going to end up dead, right? That's not the case. Cops have people that flee from them. They chase them when that's feasible, when that's appropriate. This woman is in a 4,000, 6,000 pound vehicle, and she's approaching a police officer, and she's been commanded to stop, and the officer has attempted to extract her from her car, and she hasn't done it. She is a threat. Right. She's a threat to the community now.
The car's a weapon, of course.
Car can be a weapon, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
What I, as you know, I'm always bringing up the emotional side, right? Growing up, people wanted to be police officers.
Right.
You know, oh my gosh, I want to be a police officer. Right now, quite frankly, I'd be so afraid to be a police officer.
Right.
And I have the greatest respect for law enforcement. You and I both do, and I have such great respect. But it's like,
it's become a thankless job.
Yeah, and very, I mean, it's always been a scary job, but even scarier than ever. In fact, some law enforcement officers have been telling me lately, too, that in a way, they always say, thank goodness for video.
Right.
Thank goodness for video. So the video can clearly portray, in many cases, what's actually happening.
Yeah.
You know, it backs them up.
Right. And I think, you know, sometimes it backs them up and it clears them. Other times it can be indicting and incriminating for the police officers. You know, there was a case, I forget, I think it was in Ohio, where this woman who was not mentally stable called the police about something. They show up at her house. She immediately is confrontational with the police and starts to threaten to throw boiling water on one of the police officers. And the cops are like in her living room. They're about 30 feet away from her. And she threatens to pour boiling water on him. And the cops were like, we ain't going to have any of that. And one of the cops ends up shooting her, right? And I think that case is, I don't know if they finished that and found the cop guilty or not, but it didn't look good. Like, it was a really bad, like, poor judgment on the police officer, especially given that she was threatening to throw boiling water from 30 feet away. That ain't going to hurt you.
Right.
But, you know, again, I would say, just like in this case with in Minneapolis the other day, you just don't know, like, and you have to react as a police officer immediately. You don't stop and, you know, wait for the next outcome.
Right.
You know, you made a lawful order to tell this lady to stop and get out of her car, and she didn't comply, and then she starts to run you over. You might end up dead.
Right. Do you worry that what happened there in Minneapolis is just going to, again, have national ramifications?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're already seeing that.
Yeah.
And it's just creating more divisiveness within our populations. If you look at what you're seeing on television news and things that people are posting on social media, and I think most people really come down hard on one side or the other. There's no real consideration for what's actually happened here. Why did it happen? How do we prevent this from happening? Right? And I don't know the answers to those questions. All I can say from my very much third-party viewpoint of what happened and what I've seen on television is it's unfortunate, but had she stopped and complied, she would be alive today.
Yeah.
Just like George Floyd would have been alive today had he not been as aggressive as he was when he was resisting when the police tried to arrest him for passing phony $20 bills.
I would say, you know, to anybody watching or anybody out there, follow the facts.
Yeah.
Follow the facts,
Yeah.
you know, and as you know, not all the minutia and all the like talk, but just follow the facts and come to your own determination.
Yeah. And really, I think what's really important, especially because of the proliferation of social media and people relying on social media today for their news. Look, there's so much garbage out there on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You know, people getting their news from TikTok videos. That's not real. You need to go to real, credible news sources. I mean, I saw a news story the other day that's completely unrelated and it's a lot lighter. But there was a story about all these NFL referees who were in some sort of a scheme to throw games. And it was complete garbage. I'm like, well, that's bizarre. And when you see a story like that and it's on social media and you haven't heard it in the more mainstream news, your proclivity should be, let me stop and seek this information out anywhere else. And just type in a Google search, you know, like I did, NFL referees scandal. And it came back, you know, this is a hoax. Right. And it just takes a little bit of research. Instead, you find people sharing this kind of nonsense, and then everybody starts to believe it because they are seeing it everywhere, even though it's not from a credible source.
Because perception can become reality.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, something a little lighter.
Yes, on the lighter side.
Top places to live. There are 3 cities in Florida that were deemed to be the top places to live in the country. The top 3, I think, were Athens, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, which actually surprised me, and then Peachtree City, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. And then we had some Florida cities that were like 6th or 7th. I think we had Sarasota and Lake Nona, and then what was the last one?
The Villages.
The Villages.
The
Yes.
Villages.
Yes.
Well, I am not originally from Florida, but I've lived here for 25 years, and I am so proud of this state. So to hear that, I think that's wonderful, and I'm not surprised. I mean, Florida is such a great place to live.
Can't beat the weather.
Right.
Oh my gosh, the weather is just perfect.
You know, when some people say, "Oh, but you guys, you know, get hurricanes," here's what I say, you know, on that. Sadly, every part of the country has something.
Something, that's right.
They have something. You know, at least oh my gosh, at least with a hurricane we could get warning.
Yeah, there's a level of predictability.
Right, where tornadoes,
right,
nothing,
tornadoes you don't.
Right, or
earthquakes you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
But not to digress on that, but the 3 cities that they were talking about, which was really neat. Like some of the reasons, like for Lake Nona, for instance, it said that so close to
convenient,
convenient to all the parks, just a great neighborhood atmosphere. Sarasota is just stunning.
Yeah, we love Sarasota.
We love Sarasota.
The Villages. Have you ever been to the Villages?
I have been to the Villages.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
too.
because I've had friends.
It's
that live-
quirky.
It's quirky,
Yeah.
but I love it. I love it. It's and it's a great place for. I mean, so much of it is what 55 and older. Right?
Yeah,
The
it is.
Villages
It's all
is
55 and older. Yeah, they get those tax
Yeah.
exemptions for being 55 plus.
Yeah, and it's like you see so many people just enjoying life, riding
Yeah.
around in the golf cart.
So I'm sure you've heard this, and I think it's been debunked, but I have heard over the years multiple times from different people and sources that the Villages has the highest STD rate among people 55 and over than anywhere in the state of Florida.
But it's true.
It is in fact true, right?
It is.
So you got all these
actually
old
true.
people getting together on the shuffleboard court, and they're
Oh my
going home
gosh.
and not practicing safe sex, I guess.
Something. So in what, as we look at 2026, I don't know if those stats, are 2025, but at one point I do know
It was in fact.
it was a
Okay.
fact. Yeah, it was a
Well.
fact. Well, we can look on, of course, the bright side, of that. Like, you never get too old to have some fun. I'm gonna be careful.
This is our age group too now, Sarina. Like we're both like, well, I'm approaching it.
Well, no, you know what's so crazy? Like when I first reported that story, like years and years ago, right? Yeah, I was like, that was not my age group. But yes, it is. I'm getting to be in that age group.
Yes,
Yes.
we both are. But we're not going to be up there doing the hanky-panky, right? Okay, human trafficking, big subject. We're going to have a fantastic guest here for another segment in a little while. Dottie Skipper Groover, and she is just phenomenal on the issue of trafficking. She's also in the Florida Women's Hall of Fame. She's been in the various boards appointed by the governors over the years, and is a former Miami Dolphins cheerleader.
I know, and isn't that something, because we all know how much you love the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Dottie is truly one of the most amazing women I've ever met. So beautiful on the inside and the outside. And this state, we rank number three
Nationwide.
nationwide in human trafficking. We need someone like her. And Hillsborough County is among the worst counties.
Right. Second, I think, after Miami-Dade.
Second.
Yeah, it's just terrible. So just a little tease, little plug. Watch for another segment of Heartbeat of Tampa Bay with our special guest, Dottie Groover, Skipper Groover, and learn more information about this terrible, really, it's just infecting our country in so many ways and impacting people's lives. So check that out. That's coming. All right. So we would not be doing ourselves or our fans and viewers justice without talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I know, in football. Oh my gosh! So you were at that last game.
I did. I went to the game. You can see the picture we'll throw up there on the screen with my friend Amy Susan. We went. It was soaking wet.
Oh my gosh.
We did have those little $2 raincoats that kept us dry, except for like below the knee. Our shoes were soaking wet.
You guys did look adorable, though.
Well, we had fun. We're fans. She's a friend of mine, but we had a really good time. And but yeah, it was wet, and the Bucks won, of course.
Yeah.
But then you and I were watching a little bit together the next day.
Yeah.
The Saints and the Falcons.
Right, and then the Saints lost.
Let us down.
Yeah,
It was
and
a good game, though.
It was such a good game. And thank you, by the way, for helping me take down my Christmas tree.
Yeah,
That's
we
a trip
watched a
ride.
little football and took out Sarina's Christmas
Yes,
tree.
that was-
Mine, I have to admit this, because we talked on
Yeah.
a show a couple months ago,
Yeah.
like when we were getting closer
Yeah.
to Christmas.
It's still up?
My Christmas tree is still
No.
up. Yeah.
Wow.
And I hate putting down. When I was married, I would put the tree up, and then my wife and kids would put all the decorations on, and then same thing in the inverse. After Christmas was over, she would take all the ornaments down, and then I would box up the Christmas tree, because we always have a fake tree, because I hate all those stupid needles everywhere. And but yeah, so my tree is still up with all the ornaments, and I think I'm gonna have to bribe Mia or somebody else to come over and help me, because I hate putting all the ornaments up, because a lot of mine are glass, and you have to wrap them up, put them back in a box individually. It's just a pain.
Right, and it's January.
It's January, we're getting close here.
But speaking of January and back to football, right? So it is playoffs, and the thing with the Bucks though, And you and I were talking about this. We've talked about it on the show, and you know, you even have all the national commentators talking about it. Their season, I mean, their division is not a very strong division.
Certainly not in the last couple of years,
Oh my God.
which is why the Bucks have been division champions so many times over the years, because they're in the crappiest division in the whole league.
Oh my gosh, because you have so many great teams that honestly they don't even make the cut, but their records are higher.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, it was
So
frustrating.
but it was really frustrating for the Bucks. And
So they fired Josh Grisard, the
know.
offensive coordinator.
Were you surprised by that?
No, because look at their record the last half of the season. It was abysmal.
Yeah,
The
it
offense was
really
just
was.
non-existent. Like, what in the hell happened?
It really, I mean, it was
painful.
Painful
Painful to watch. So.
I told you about, you know, when I went to that throwback game, and you know, I was
The one you didn't invite me to?
I'm sorry. Yes, he does. My brother invited me, so that's why, you know.
You ever heard of Ticketmaster?
Oh, Christopher,
I'm just harassing
we
you.
need to make a commitment to definitely go to a Bucks game this year. But you know, I told you all the chants of people really not happy with Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think about that?
I think he probably needs to go, right? Because granted, now his argument is going, whoa, I've been, you know, the coach of the division champions for however 3-4 years. But yeah, they still are terrible. They were the worst division champions, right?
Yeah.
They're not playing at a caliber that fans expect. Certainly with the money they're spending on their roster, and people are frustrated and they want to see some change in new systems. Same thing's going on in Miami.
Yeah.
There's questions about whether or not Mike McDaniel will still have a job, you know, in a couple of weeks. They have a new GM search in Miami. But you've got a lot of coaches that are kind of in the hot seat, and then you've got some coaches that have already been fired, like Harbaugh.
I could not believe
right?
John Harbaugh got fired.
He's been talked about, Tampa
God.
and Miami and other places. Like, he's going to have another job.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't you think he'll be in serious demand?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
you know, he'll be
Yeah.
in serious demand. Sammy said that game against the Steelers, though, the Ravens and the Steelers, was probably the best game that she's ever watched in her 18-year-old
Really?
life. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is,
Yeah.
and I unfortunately missed that game, but yeah, she said it was really exciting.
That's cool. It was a good game.
But speaking of coaches, so, I mean, there has been talk, or maybe wishful thinking, maybe, about John Gruden coming back.
Chucky's back.
What do you think of
That
what do you
would
think
be
on
so
that?
cool. Everybody loves Gruden. He's awesome. I mean, him or, you know, bring back Tony Dungy.
Tony
the
Dungy
glory
was my
days.
guy.
Like, he's such a great human
Oh,
being
I
too.
love him.
But yeah, either one of them would be phenomenal. I don't think that Dungy is legitimately going to being talked about, but I think Gruden is kind of like he's
Yeah.
been kicking the tires a little bit. I think, you know, keeping that kind of speculation alive in a number of different areas, you know, that he could go to different teams, and one of them obviously Tampa. That would be great.
Yeah, and you know, he brings such fire and
Mm-hmm.
passion, and Cindy Gruden is fantastic too, his wife.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, though, if they do seriously talk about bringing Gruden back. Will the thing that got him fired from the Raiders, which was he made some racially inappropriate, insensitive comments in emails that it got him pretty much immediately fired, people's memories are short, but are
Right.
they that short? Are they going to bring that up again? I mean, I don't think that he can avoid it. Do the Glazers have the stomach to just bite the bullet and say, hey, you know, we forgive him and this is a new day and we want to bring him in because he can turn this team back out into winners? I mean, there's a lot percolating out there.
And well, don't you believe though too, especially if someone is genuinely remorseful in second chances, you know, with
Yeah.
certain situations,
Yeah.
you know, so
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, there we have it. We've got our Bucks talk, our Gruden talk. All right, let me ask you this
Yes.
to wrap that up. Who are you going to be rooting for in the Super Bowl?
Okay, so that's a tough question, but I love, you know, of course, you know, the Bears and Caleb Williams, and I went to college in Chicago. So that would be one of my teams. Jalen Hurts. You know how I did that whole comparison of my personality, and Jalen Hurts is, you know, like the quarterback that is like most like
most like you.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. How about you? Do you have a strong favorite?
I'm going to be for the Jags. Right, you know, they're now, because the Bucks and the Dolphins are out, you know, I think you got to go for the local hometown team, home state team, if you will. So yeah, I'm going to be going for the Jags.
Are you disappointed in me that I didn't immediately go there?
Did you go to the Jags?
Yeah.
No, I'm not disappointed in you. I could not be disappointed in you, Sarina.
But Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah,
you know,
no, you got to go with your faves.
And
There's
what
nothing wrong with
about,
that.
though, honestly, their coach was the Bucks, one of the Bucks coordinators.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
All right,
how did we let him go?
A lot of fun football coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every story shared
adds another heartbeat to Tampa Bay.
from courage to community.
We are so proud to tell the stories that keep our neighborhood strong. Thanks for watching The Heartbeat of Tampa Bay.